do
You
it.
know how bad our area has been hit, and
No
there are a
doubt.
lot of questions about who can get help from FEMA. People that have flood insurance are worried that they may not be able to get federal help. What are the rules? Can you give us some guidelines?
Absolutely, and I want to encourage folks to reach out to FEMA through I do not have their website or their telephone number.
It's on our
I
website, so folks can
got you.
find it. Yeah.
I saw Director Fugate last night making a tour of the state on the news. I saw him with the governor, and that's a good thing. The National Flood Insurance Program is closely related to what I do, although I do not regulate it. As you know, it is a FEMA program.
Mm-hmm.
But I urge everyone in your listening audience in every corner of the state to access it. I say repeatedly, and have for the 10 years that I've been commissioner, that's the best insurance buy a property owner can make anywhere in the state of Louisiana. We are so vulnerable, and the Shreveport area is the best example of that. We just went through this late last year with the overtopping of the Red River, not just in Louisiana, Texas, and Oklahoma got it as well. We went through it with the Atchafalaya, with the spillway being open, the overtopping of the Mississippi in the spring when the ice melts up north. All of those things make us so vulnerable. For those of your listeners who have had a loss, three quick things. Number one, call your agent and report your claim. If you get through an 800 number, call that 800 number. If you can't find your agent, can't find that 800 number, call us. We have consumer assisters or counselors there at the phone ready to help. Number two, minimize your damage. Every insurance policy, virtually every insurance policy, makes that a requirement. Put a tarp over an opening, tear out wet carpeting, those kinds of things that you can do. Keeping your receipts for whatever expense you incur as a result of those efforts to comply with that provision of your policy. Take pictures. Get your cell phone out. Take pictures of your damage to be able to document that for the claim that follows. And certainly do not put yourself in harm's way in doing any of those things.
But
go ahead.
Let me ask
Aaron.
you this: there's a lot of concern that if you have flood insurance, FEMA won't help you. Is that inaccurate?
Well, it's accurate to this extent. They won't reimburse you twice. If you have flood insurance, it's a FEMA program called the National Flood Insurance Program, but it's really a FEMA program. So they will not pay your claim and then give you money for those losses in addition. So there's no double collecting on your loss.
Okay.
Now, if you're uninsured, and that's a moral dilemma that the federal government faces in catastrophes like this all the time. When they did a road home program for the victims of Rita and Katrina, they deducted insurance payments, private as well as flood payments, and then gave you up to $150,000. Well, the moral problem is those who did the right thing and paid for their insurance themselves didn't get the charitable checks and road home money that were made available by the government. Those who did not do the right thing and rolled the dice and did not insure their property, they get full reimbursement under that program. That's an exception. That was a once in the history of our country event. Mm-hmm. In this instance, probably like most other tornado and flood events, they will make available not dollar for dollar reimbursement of your damage as they did for Rita and Katrina, but more likely low interest SBA loans and maybe some temporary money for housing while you're dislocated from your premises. I don't know what all they will come up with. That will be up to Congress. The SBA loan availability is typical. That is almost always made available after catastrophe.
Can we talk about flood insurance for just a minute? Got about a minute
Surely.
left. People are saying that a lot of the flood insurance policies don't cover contents. Tell me what flood insurance typically will cover.
It does cover up to $250,000 and contents coverage if you buy it. You don't have to buy it. So if you didn't buy it, then it won't cover your contents. But I rarely encounter that. Most folks who are responsible enough, and that's only 25% of the properties in our state, Even though that program, one of the reasons I say it's such an important and good buy for property owners in our state is it is still, even after the reforms of Bigot Waters 4 years ago, it is still substantially subsidized by the federal government. We in Louisiana benefit from that program more than any other state by far. We've collected $16 billion. The next three states have collected, New Jersey, New York, Superstorm Sandy, and Texas have collected less than that in the history of the program combined. So it's so important. But contents coverage has to be purchased if you're going to have that. Almost all do, I do believe.
All right. Thank you so much, Jim Donlen,
Okay.
State Insurance Commissioner. Appreciate your time today.